Have lost a lot of physical things, but so long as you are alive, you haven't lost everything. When the battle chooses you, God fights for you, is with you, and He will show Himself mighty. People may strip you of what you have, but so long as they have not stripped you of your life, there is still hope for you. You may have lost a lot of physical things, but so long as you are alive, you haven't lost everything. When the battle chooses you, God fights for you, is with you, and He will show Himself mighty. People may strip you of what you have, but so long as they have not stripped you of your life, there is still hope for you. You may have lost a lot of physical things, but so long as you are alive, you haven't lost everything. When the battle chooses you, God fights for you, is with you, and He will show Himself mighty. People may strip you of what you have, but so long as they have not stripped you of your life, there is still hope for you. You may have lost a lot of physical things, but so long as you are alive, you haven't lost everything. When the battle chooses you, God fights for you, is with you, and He will show Himself mighty. People may strip you of what you have, but so long as they have not stripped you of your life, there is still hope for you.
Hello and good evening. Welcome everyone to Tuesday's Ambassador of Hope. I know I may be a little bit different from Pastor Frank. I know all of you guys are like, what is Nikki doing there? But I promise you, this is going to be an amazing hour, okay? My dad would never leave you in the hands of someone that wasn't capable. So before we go ahead and start, everyone pick up your phone and share. Share to your friends, share to your enemies, share to your boss, share to your children, share to anyone that is able to watch. I'm over here in the chat as well, and I'm looking at everyone. Hello, Nanimo. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to see all of you. Yes, go ahead and share. We're also live on Facebook if you're watching us on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. Go ahead and share. I promise that this will be a great message. I hope everyone also had a great week. It's been a whole week since we've been together here. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is healthy. I hope everyone is happy. And if you're healthy and happy, that means you can share. So go ahead and share. Right, I'm not seeing a lot of familiar names. Help me feel safe. You know, I'm a little bit shy. Everyone share. Good evening. Hi, Cleo. Good to see you. Share. Today's going to be a great message. It's one of my favorites. It's something that applies to everyone in every different area of their life. As I was reading and writing, I was like, this is something that I needed, we all need. And we all get into these certain times of life where we need this message. So you don't want to keep good things for yourself. You want to share them. So go ahead and share. Hi, Nanadra. Yes, please share. Not just here, share on YouTube. Let me go over on YouTube and see. Let's see. Hi, Auntie Ethel. Hi, Daniel. Nice to see you. See, I'm on YouTube now. Hi, Eunice. Nice to see you. Ooh. Come on, guys. Let's share, and we will start shortly. If you're watching on Facebook, share on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, share on YouTube. Hello. Yes, someone said, what an awesome day to be alive and have hope. Absolutely, I agree. Because once you don't have hope, you don't have God, you don't have hope, you don't have anything. So yes, I agree. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. Make sure that you're continuing to share. Make sure you're continuing to share. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Just because I've started doesn't mean you can't share. Continue to do that. Share, 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 share. Okay. So everyone's been on social media and on the TV and seeing what's going on in the world as of today and age. All these wars that are going on, political problems in other countries, political problems in our countries, even problems and strife amongst other people just around you. And it's easy to see all that war and conflict and think that you have to panic. And this is what I'm here to tell you today, that it is not the time for panic. We are not panicking. We have to keep a cool head in hard times. Panic is set into our nation, but let's go ahead and actually look at what the meaning of panic is. So, according to Webster's dictionary, panic is defined as a sudden, uncontrollable fear or anxiety, often causing wildly thinking behavior. Think about it. I'm someone that I can generally say I'm generally calm. If I'm thinking wildly, what can be done out of that situation? Nothing. Nothing comes from panic. Panic doesn't change anything. Panic doesn't change your situation. Panic doesn't even change how somebody else views you. Sometimes when you panic, you actually kind of put a battery in somebody else's back to think negatively of you. So I wanted to go ahead and open up Proverbs 17:27. And we are reading from the New Living Translation. Let's see. Proverbs 17:27. And I read, hopefully everyone's there, and I read, "A truly wise person uses few words. A person with understanding is even-tempered." You cannot be even-tempered and panic. It's like oil and water. There's certain things that will never, ever, ever mix. And the Lord is telling us himself that we do not need to panic, no matter what situations that we may see or what we're going through. And sometimes we may even panic for other people. I know I panic for other people. I don't know about you. I'm very emotional and I feed off the emotions of other people. So if people around me are panicking, I'm going to feel like I need to panic, and that's not the way. So I wanted to give you a few keys and a few tools to help you keep your head cool in a place that's hot, a place that's putting you under fire. And we've all been in those places. And if not, we're all bound to be in those places. It's life. We cannot control what is around us. If we could control what was around us, we wouldn't need God. And we all know that we need God more than anything in this life. So as my tool for today, I wanted to use Daniel in the Bible. So we all may know a lot about Daniel, but specifically I wanted to talk about when Daniel helped Nebuchadnezzar translate his dream. So I'm reading from Daniel chapter 2, and let's go ahead and go to Daniel chapter 2, verse 16. Let me see. All right, so it's up here. It says, "Daniel went at once to see the king and requested more time to tell the king what the dream meant." So to provide a little bit of backstory, Nebuchadnezzar has been troubled by dreams and things that he's been seeing when he sleeps. So he is obviously confused. I know not everyone is a dreamer, not everyone is a dream interpreter, but when you have certain dreams, it bothers you and you want to know what it thinks. So Nebuchadnezzar calls around all his wise men and he's like, "I need you guys to not only interpret the dream for me, I need you to tell me what the dream is." Now if you tell me, help me interpret my dream, I'm going to pick 1, 2, common sense, things like that anyone that can really sit and think to do. But if you're telling me to tell you your dream, that's where you have lost me. And the wise men were telling King Nebuchadnezzar the same thing. They're like, "Look, if you tell us the dream, maybe we can help you." But no, he's like, "You have to tell me the dream and interpret it." So of course, that sets panic in. And then on top of that, he says that if you don't tell me this dream, I'm going to disembowel you. And me, that kind of shook me because I'm like, no, are you telling me you're going to kill me? You're going to tell me in the way that you're going to kill me? Absolutely not. That is when the panic is setting in. So Nebuchadnezzar says that, gather all the wise men. If no one can tell me, then all of you are dying. So Daniel was also known at the time to be a wise man. So when they went to go and tell Daniel, and they told him, they were like, look, if we can't tell a king his dream, and we can't tell him what the dream means, we're all goners. So Daniel chose to remain calm in that situation, and I greatly admire. Daniel was actually so calm in that situation that Daniel went to sleep. I don't know about you guys, but if the world is crashing down on me and I feel like I'm about to die in the next few days, I don't know how I'm going to sleep. I don't know how I'm going to do those things. But Daniel took the right path and trusted the Lord in his time of panic. And I know that that seems so simple to say, and it seems, so simple to trust the Lord, but I know that it is hard. But we have to try our hardest to trust the Lord in panic, because where else can our help come from if not from the Lord? So Daniel prayed to God and asked him to let him know what the dream meant and let him know the interpretation. And that's exactly what God did for Daniel. God always comes through for us in our time of trouble. It's like, what if Daniel thought the fact that God hadn't even told him prior to that God didn't care and he gave up and didn't reach out to God? But Daniel leaned on God's understanding. He leaned on the relationship that he had with God, and Daniel was proven right for it. So continuing reading, let's see, we are in we're in Daniel chapter 2, verse 17. Okay, so Daniel, and at that night, the secret was revealed to Daniel in a vision. And then Daniel praised the God of heaven. And I noticed that a lot of times when God answers our prayers, we forget to praise him and thank him in that moment. We feel like certain things have happened because we have done them, and that is not the case. Just even you as a human think, if you continuously come through for someone time and time again and they never thank you, or they never give you the praise and the honor and the glory, won't that discourage you from doing more for them in the future? Exactly. So Daniel has gone the right way about it. So we always have to think about our responses to situations. I feel like sometimes our responses are more important than the situations that we go through. Your response will always teach you what type of person you are and what type of situation that you're going through. If Daniel just decided to behave haphazardly, be like, man, I'm running away, man, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, we wouldn't have this story for one today. Nebuchadnezzar wouldn't have his dream interpreted, and we would just not have a lot of information that we ought to have. So, also, in panic, we tend to run to other people that can't help us in our situations. Think about if Daniel was like, all right, I'm not going to pray. I'm going to go and ask, who are Daniel? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Would they have his answers? No. And I'm guilty of this. I know we're all guilty of this. We tend to go to other people with our problems, and people that we know can't help us, and then our problems become gossip. And nobody wants to be the subject of gossip. I know I don't. I don't know about you, but nobody wants to be the subject. So we have to know where our help comes from and where our help is in. So we also have to go to God because he knows what we don't know. If we knew everything, then there would be no point in us even being Christians or believing in God. If there would be no point in us having a relationship with God. He is the all-knowing, therefore we have to tap into the all-knowing, especially in times where we don't know. God also knows how to get you out of situations. God sees things that happen before they've happened. He sees things that could happen, might happen. So if I know that someone is all-knowing and knows, why would I not tap into it? And sometimes we can't get out of situations. Sometimes we need to know how to get through situations. And God also knows how to get us through situations while coming out still intact. Yes, we can get through things without God, but at what cost? How do we change? How are we being an example for other people? God knows the correct ways and the correct things to do for us. Okay, so I wanted to tap in back into the stream and see who's all watching. Pastor Asma, it's great to see you. I know you guys are having fun right now. I'm very jealous of you. Mr. Pessima, nice to see you. Nice to see you today. Auntie Yvonne, thank you so much for adding the Bible verses. Thank you, thank you. Mr. Chumesi, nice to see you. Hi, Prince. Prince is putting ha ha ha. I haven't said anything funny yet. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. It's good to see all of you. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to share. Let me go to YouTube. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Mr. Campbell. It's great to see all of you. It's great to see all of you. Okay, now pressing on. Ooh, okay. So, I wanted to go ahead and speak about the specific areas in which we should not panic. Number one, which is probably the biggest one for me, is when bad news comes. I have some bad news for you guys right now. Let's practice. I have some bad news for you now. No matter what you do, no matter where you are, no matter who you're with, bad news will come. It is inevitable and is a fact of life. We will always be disappointed by something. We'll always be hurt by something. We'll always be slighted by something. No matter what you do, as long as you are human, even if you're not human. I'm sure dogs and cats get bad news all the time. My owner is supposed to be here at this time and I'm hungry. But guess what we have to do? We have to deal with it and not panic, because nothing good comes out of panic. There is no perfect life. There is no perfect day. There is no perfect place. So we have to do and have to cope with when we have setbacks in life. We have no control, and we have a lot to learn in this life. Life in its essence, at its base, is a learning experience. So what do we have to do to keep up our end of the bargain? Is to be open to learn. We barely control our decisions, even though we think we do. We can really only work with what we have. If we can't control our decisions, we certainly can't control others' decisions, and we can't really control the actions of others around us. So when we get into situations where we can't control, the number one thing we have to do is to not panic. God will work it out for you. He said that no word that he sends out will come back to him void. We have to trust in the process. Also, another situation where we can't panic is when enemies conspire against you. Just like when I said there's bad news comes, also people are going to conspire against you. If you're a human, there's going to be someone that doesn't like you. If you have no enemies, then you're probably the enemy, for one. And for two, it's just not realistic. Where there's two things, just Newton said, when there's two things, there's obviously going to be some type of friction or some type of something between two objects, let alone human beings. You can't even think about it. Sharing a room with someone, sharing an apartment with someone, sharing a life with someone, sharing church with someone, work with someone, there's going to be frictions and you might create enemies. And sometimes it's not even something that you've done. People just don't like you just to not like you, and that's fine. Me, I'm not gonna panic if you like me or if you don't. If you like me, cool. If you don't, oh well, you're missing out. So sometimes they conspire to bring you down, cause you shame and embarrassment, but we cannot panic. When you decide to walk with God and follow his will, you will have enemies. People don't like it when people do the right thing. Think about it. The posts and the TV shows and the the news stories that someone's doing something wrong get the most reactions. People like to tap into negativity. But once you set out and decide that you're not going to be negative, you're not going to be bad, rude, mean, or do bad things, you get a lot of pushback. And I really wish it wasn't like that, but that's how it is now. So when you make that decision to really walk with God, you will create enemies. They will malign you, they will smear you, and they will straight up lie against you. Who else had someone lie against them? I've had someone lie against me today, and it's fine. Guess what I'm not doing? Panicking, and neither should you. God knows. God is all-knowing, as we've said before. God knows, and he knows who is conspiring against you. He knows who has evil will against you in their hearts, and he will take care of them for you. And I know that it just seems like something easy to say, or like a cop-out, like, oh, God will take care of them. But this is how I think about it. If God is all-knowing, God is all-powerful, God is omnipresent, God has every single resource on the planet at his will and at his advantage. He created the resources. If I have someone like that on my side that is telling me to be calm, be patient, let me take care of this, why will little old me feel like I need to take it in my hands to take care of an issue, a person, or a problem? Absolutely not. That's like comparing a nuclear bomb to a BB gun. I'd rather get you with a nuke, so I'm going to take my time and let God do what he has to do. Am I right? Okay. And then another time where you shouldn't panic is when you feel alone. This is something that hit me very, 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 very personally. I'm someone that can generally feel alone, even like amongst a bunch of people. And then I would use that to panic. Like, why am I alone? Why don't I have this? Why is this person not with me? Why is this? Why is that? And God is telling us not to panic. For one, if we're believers, God is always there. So what is alone? What is really alone? Sometimes we have to change our mindset and change the way we view things. I've noticed that as humans, if things don't look the way we expect them to, or things don't work out the way that we've previously put in our heads for them to work out, we say that it's not there. We say that it's not happening. We say that it's not true. And that's not correct. We were supposed to have our minds transformed and renewed. And I feel like a lot of times we don't want to live in that. So, one of the greatest times of vulnerability is when you're alone. It's sometimes we get negative thoughts that come into our heads. Sometimes you can even hear fearful voices in your head saying that you've lost. So if I'm alone, I'm allowing these things to come and jump, how is anything going to get done? How am I going to remain and have faith in the Lord? Just even a faith of a mustard seed can move mountains. And these demons and spirits and things will obviously try to attack that little mustard seed. So it's up to us. It's our responsibility to silence those voices in our heads. God has our back. We are never, ever, ever alone. God is with you, and everything will be okay. It may not be okay on your time period, but trust and believe before you leave this earth, it will be okay. Everything works together for the good. And we have to believe that things work together for that good. Be that good. Buy into that good. How can you have something that you never buy into? It's cute to say these little things, but how much are you investing in those things? We have to think about that. Also, and the last one is, and a place not to panic, is when your boss or leader is mad at you. Okay, this one also is very close. I am no stranger to having my boss or my leader be upset with me, whether it be like my work boss, which is also my father, or like my father, or even before I worked in the church. It's kind of a funny story. I worked with a woman that she was my boss, and I really did not like her. Me, I'm a very straightforward person, so when I am not too fond of someone, it will show. And she thought it was funny to have me move and to sit right beside her because she knew that I did not like her. And I worked right beside her, smiling like, hey, how are you? Even though I didn't feel it in my heart. Hey, how are you? And after a while, when it was time for a big promotion, she called me to the side and said, Nicole, I know you don't like me. And I was like, what do you mean? I like you. Why would you? And she's like, girl. And I was like, okay, you're right. I'm like, we're just different people. And she's like, so since I know that you don't like me, I'm going to let you move to a different department that has a higher pay grade and technically really much less work. And I was like, wow. Imagine if I had acted crazy like, man, I don't like her, man, I don't want to sit by you, man, and was just rude and disrespectful and arrogant. I wouldn't have the job that I wanted. So that really stuck out to me as well. Sometimes we have to keep calm. And I wanted to go ahead and refer to Ecclesiastes 10:14. And we're reading from the New Living. Let's see. All right, it says, and they chatter on and on. Oh, sorry. That doesn't seem like the right verse. Let's see. I don't think that's the right verse. Okay, we can just go over that. But it's basically saying a quiet tongue can change situations. And that's technically what happened for me. If I acted out, if I did what I was in my heart to do, then my situation wouldn't have been the same. And this applies especially not in the corporate world, in church, because we all have rankings and leaders in church. It could be a lot of warfare in the workplace. Misinformation, people are trying to jockey for a position. They're like, I don't want you to have this. I want this. So I'm going to spread lies and do this and basically tarnish your reputation. And collecting favor from superiors, where we should be collecting superior. The only superior we should be collecting favor from is from God, and everything else will align. When situations come up and the boss gets mad, stay calm and do not lose your cool. Yes, Ecclesiastes 10:4. If your boss is angry at you, don't quit. A quiet spirit can overcome even great mistakes. Let's admit sometimes we are in the wrong. Sometimes your boss doesn't like you because of your work ethic, because of you, and because of what you do. And nobody's perfect. If we were perfect, we'd be Jesus. Nobody here is perfect. But don't quit. Be calm. Have a quiet spirit. It's easier to forgive someone or want to work with someone or want to help someone that is calm, that is humble, that approaches the situation with a clear and open mind. Okay, so also how I started this as well. Right now, the world is absolutely crazy. Every time I go on social media, it's something else in Palestine, it's something else in Israel, it's something in Ukraine, it's something in Russia, it's something with a Democrat, it's something with a Republican, it's something with a middle party. It's almost like they're purposely trying to instill fear in us, to have people panic. And we as Christians cannot panic. I wanted to divert our eyes to Luke 21:26 through 28. And it says, people will be terrified at what they see coming upon the earth, for the powers in the heavens will be shaken. Then everyone will see the Son of Man coming on a cloud with power and great glory. So when all these things begin to happen, stand and look up, for your salvation is near. So if we're not panicking and we're looking down and we're looking all around us and we're looking to people that cannot help us, we can miss our salvation easily. This is not the thing for us to do. We don't want to miss Jesus. We don't want to miss the time that we've all as Christians been waiting for. We have to stay vigilant and stay focused even when the world looks like it's burning all around us. I know that seems like it's easy to say and hard to do, but you have to try little by little by little. Whether it's, oh, when I see this, I'm not going to interact with this, or oh, when something bothers me, I'm going to pray about it instead of stewing in that panic. I know prayer helps me a lot. Prayer, anytime I'm upset or angry or worried, prayer calms me down, because if I'm upset about something in Israel, I can't go and buy a gun and go and start shooting for that. Who am I? No, I'm going to tap into the one that can actually do something and the one that can actually help and change situations around. And that goes in any situation, not just of things you see. It's the things that you're going through at home. It's the things that you're going through with like a significant other or your family or even in the workplace, at church. It goes for everything. I feel like as Christians, we like to relegate certain things to certain aspects in life. But when God says things, it's overarching. We can apply it to so many different areas in our lives. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to go ahead and put up the giving screens. And we're going to go ahead and give, if that's what you find it in your heart to do. We have all the giving platforms. We have Cash App, PayPal. If you're out of the United States, we have, I'm not sure what that is that Vodafone? Okay, we have Zelle. And I'm also going to remind you that this Saturday at Kara's house, we have Diana Hamilton coming to give us a live performance. It's going to be great. If you know Diana, then you know how amazing the atmosphere is going to be at All Nations Kara's house. It's at 781 Athens Highway, Loganville, Georgia. We're going to have a great time. Come and celebrate with the women. It's the women's conference, and the women are putting together so many great and awesome things for us in this month of October. So if you want to be a part of it, please come and join us. Okay, I'm gonna say hi to some people and then we will go. All right. Hi, Pastor Frank. It's nice to see you. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let me go on Facebook and see. Oh, wow. It just disappeared. See, I'm not panicking because it disappeared. I'm just going to open it again. Hi, Miss Eva. All right. Okay, well, thank you so much for taking time to join us this Tuesday for Ambassador of Hope. Next week, Pastor Frank will be back. I promise it won't be me. I promise. He will be back. He's who you want to see. But thank you so much for taking time out of your Tuesday to be with us. I pray that you stay blessed. I pray that the Lord keeps you in your coming and going. And I pray that you have learned not to panic in any situation you may go through.